I hope you're well. Better than me, anyway. Damaged goods this week. So no big video. I'm just going to do a quick sort of follow-on from the marking out basics video that I did a couple of weeks ago. I had a few comments along the lines of, well, very helpful, solid foundation for what we're doing, but what if you're not doing a cabinet that's neat and tidy like this? What if you're doing one with overhangs and setbacks and all that kind of thing? Do the same sort of rules apply? And the bottom line is, yeah, they do still apply, but you have to think about it a little bit more. This is a cabinet that I've made specifically to be a little bit more challenging. I had a cabinet class here in the workshop recently, and the whole point of this was that you do have those sort of overhangs around the top and the base, and the shelf is set back from the sides, and at the rear there's also going to be a rebate there, so you've got to allow for that as well. And fairly obviously, with a chunky top like this, it's designed to have a bevel on it too, so you've got to allow for all that as well. I've got a spare one of these just made up from bits of scrap, so I'm going to talk you through the process of doing that right now. So, not to labour the point, but it's still a cabinet, so we still do the same sort of marking out. It's a top and a base, two sides, and a shelf. So we're just going to do the same thing as we always do. Top, base, someone's already done an R on this one. So we'll do left and right. And then this is the shelf. Okay. Now, because we've got no sort of point of reference on this, we're actually going to mark the center of these. And again, because the front edges and sides are set back, we're just going to work off the back for this. And we can just mark that down. Now, when I designed this, I made the setback the same thickness as the top and base material, so I can use a couple of offcuts to represent that, and the same with the cabinet sides as well. So we can just drop those in, and then working by feel, center that shelf up. So now we can use the fixed shelf as our point of reference for everything else. Now the shelf is set back by 6mm, so I'm just going to use a couple of 6mm packers that'll represent the rebate. We can just pop a clamp on that, or two. And then we can mark up where we want the mortises to go for the shelf, or the fixing positions. I'm just going to use a little offcut of 22mm, again, same thickness as the top and base. So the sides are going to go in like this. So we can mark them up, rest them on a scrap of 22mm. This is going to go all the way back. And we can use another little piece of scrap to mark the positions for the sides. We'll do the same. And while we're being clever, you can actually swap these over and do the tops as well. So right, ordinarily I wouldn't mark this up, I'd just go straight in and cut this, but I just use another little offcut of 22mm just to balance whatever jointing machine you're using lined up against the pencil line. 3 and 4. See, I'm not going to do that now. I'll just mark up with pencil just so that we know for now that these are being done. So that's the base, that's the top. And we do the same again. Then we'll just put a mark where our mortises are going to go. And again, we just, if we were doing this for real, we'd get a balancer in, and we do these lined up against the pencil mark. Okay, so for the mortises in the sides, fairly obviously, because we've referenced off the shelf to get the mortises in the top and the base, we need to reference off the inside face to get the mortises in the sides. That means that we've got to transfer those pencil marks around. Then we reference with the inside face flat on the bench, and use your dowel or your domino or your biscuit jointer on the bench as well to cut those mortises, lining up against the pencil marks. And then the last thing we need to do is mark the centers for the shelf. And we can do that by using the shelf to the front edge and offset by 6mm. So yeah, there we are. As always, it takes far longer to explain than it takes to actually do. I will machine that up and get it made to show you in full detail when this gets better. But until then, I'll call this one done for this week. Thanks so much for taking a look. Look after your wrists. They're the only ones you have. Rest them up when you need to, and I will see you again very soon. All right, take care.